Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Crypto Trading with Crypto Trader, aka Jonas. And hopefully, everybody had a great weekend and having a great start to the week. It's Monday, unfortunately. But if you're a new time viewer, welcome to the live stream. Glad you found us. And if you haven't done so already, please click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification so that you're notified every time a video is uploaded or I do one of those for the moment type of live streams. And if you haven't done so already, stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. And we are simultaneously streaming this live stream on those social media platforms. So if you are on those platforms, thank you so much. We do appreciate your support. And for the majority of you who don't know, Crypto Traders Room is a place where we eat, drink, sleep, dream, trade, and invest in digital currencies. So what is going on today in this crazy market? But Marion, welcome. Potters, welcome, buddy. Let's see who else we got. Breck, you're always on here. You're always the first, man. Thank you. We got a couple other people on here, but yeah. And if you're new, don't be shy. Just say what's up. You don't have to introduce yourself, but say what's up. Become a regular. Shelly, good morning. Great seeing a new name. GST Arthur. I've seen that name before. XEL, you know what? I got a lot of things I need to talk about today, but I will put that on my list, and I will try to get to it, buddy. But yeah, I'm glad you're a regular viewer, man. Thank you so much. ZS, Ghost. All right, so the title is who is spoofing, layering, manipulating this cryptocurrency market, or basically manipulating the traders, like myself and everybody else that's probably on this live stream. Who doesn't have the pocketbook to be able to manipulate these things. And we are the ones that are being manipulated. And you guys really have to consider that when you are trading really any market, whether this is the stock market or the cryptocurrency market, because there are people out there. It's the whales. It's the people with a lot of money that could easily move this market and sway it in any direction that they want to sway it. So it is not us, retail investors that are moving this market. It's the people with a lot of money. And as this market gets bigger and bigger, there are going to be a lot more players coming onto this market with a lot more money, and they're going to be basically fighting each other out. The whales are going to be fighting over position. And we're just there to kind of collect little crumbs here and there. But, I'm sure a majority of you know what spoofing is, but we're going to kind of, take a look at spoofing and take a look at layering and be able to kind of try to spot those out. We talked about spoofing in the past, but I've kind of referred to it as something different. Just basically, I forget what I refer to it as, actually. Hold on one second, guys. I do apologize. All right, thank you, Jeff. I do appreciate that. But yeah, what this person was doing was basically, putting in orders of increments of $5. So 181.11 was the first order that he had in the book, or she had in the book, or they. And then the next one was 176.11. Now they're all gone; they're not on here anymore. So we're going to scroll down a little further and see if he left some of them on, or if they or she, whoever it might have been, if they left some of them on. But 181.11. They wanted to buy 200, 176.11. They wanted to buy 200, 171.11. They wanted to buy 200. The penny increments was always the same. It was always at 11 cents, a difference of $5 basically. Let's see if we can find him again. But yeah, the thing about Bitfinex too, it's so easy to cancel all your orders all at once. Like easily you could do it. So basically he went from 181.11 all the way down to 86.11 increments of 200 that he was buying or she was buying. A price difference of $5 basically for each transaction. And I should have taken a screenshot of it, but I figured, it's going to be on there. It's not going anywhere. So 86.11 was his last, or their last order. 86.11 is gone. And then after that, what he or she started doing was basically putting in larger orders. So then the order went from 500 BCH coins, and that started at $81.11. And then that went all the way down to $11.11. And that was still increments of $5. And then after that, what they started doing was basically still buying 500, but they were buying it at increments of $1. So it started at $10.11. They wanted to buy 500, another 500 at $9.11, another 500 at $8.11. I mean, that went all the way down to basically a penny almost, from what I saw in the order book. But unfortunately, they are all gone as of this minute. Yeah, I don't know if that's him, because there's a couple people that are stacked up. And the only way I was able to find out was because of that, that 11 cents. And then the orders were just all for 200, 200, 200, and then 500. Same increments of 11 cents, but just the price difference was a little different. So they are no longer on here now. They could pop back up. That's a possibility. But that's kind of an example of layering. So they're layering their order, and then they can easily cancel it within a matter of 1 or 2 clicks. They're done. But yeah, I should have taken a screenshot of it, but I didn't. Kind of kicking myself for that now. But let me go ahead and get to some of these comments, and then we'll talk about BCH. Let me scroll up a little bit. Enrique, welcome. Philip, welcome. Rocky Mountain, you're always on, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Kebz, what's happening? Oh, nothing much. It's another day of the crypto world. Skylar, welcome, buddy. Oliver Mart from Croatia, awesome. Wim, you curious? What are you curious about? Oscar, hello, welcome. Greetings from the UK. That's awesome. Thank you. Yeah, let me know where you guys are from too. It's always good to know. Thanks for putting it on the list. I forget what I put on the list. BTC Fibonacci retracement for the week. I haven't looked at that yet, but if I do have time, we can definitely take a look at that. Who's manipulating LTC? Same people that are probably manipulating BCH as well as BTC and every other cryptocurrency that, anybody that has a lot of money. I read an article, and somebody shared an article with us too, on our Slack chat, about a specific person that they described as spoofy. And he was actually he was a person, or she was a person, or it could have been Bitfinex. I mean, who knows who it is, but I mean, they're basically controlling the Bitfinex market, the price movement of any cryptocurrency on Bitfinex. They are controlling it. I mean, they're placing orders anywhere from, 20 million to 60 million. So that's somebody with a lot of money. So it's either the exchange, or it's somebody that, the exchange doesn't want to lose, and they don't want to, ban from their exchange because of the manipulation. And manipulation is illegal. I mean, it says it on their terms and conditions. But for them to lose $20 to $60 million out of that exchange, it's a lot. It's a big hit for them. So more than likely, they want to keep that customer happy. But yeah, there's a lot of people that are manipulating, every cryptocurrency. So it's just not LTC. Yeah, Eric, you're exactly right. Same people that are manipulating BTC and every other cryptocurrency. Okay. Mel, thank you so much. But yeah, I got the text from ECS. Yeah, sometimes I mute it because, you know, my son starts yelling or something. And then I kind of forget to unmute it, unfortunately. You're missing all the good stuff about BCH. I'm going to cover BCH. And as a lot of you guys know, you know that I bought BCH. But I'm sure you can tell if I'm still in it or not. Yeah, you guys can tell if I'm still in it. Kabzi, yeah, I mean, it doesn't take much money, but you know, you need to have the capital. So whether you're going to short it, you need to have the coins. If you're not going to short it and you're going to try to manipulate it to the upside, you need to have the coins. You know, well, you need to have the capital, the USD, to be able to buy, and then you need to have the coins to be able to sell on the other side of the order book. So whoever's manipulating it, you know, I mean, they have the capital to be able to get the price to go up. And there's only one reason why they want the price to go up is because they have tons of coins that they want to sell. So you got to have tons of coins that you need to sell with a lot of USD basically to be able to put in those fake walls. Same thing with somebody, you know, that's looking to buy. You know, they'll put up, you know, that they're going to be possibly shorting. And if they end up shorting, you know, more than likely that's going to drive the price down. So they'll put up a very large sell wall, but they're shorting. So when you're actually shorting, you're selling, you know, onto that order book or selling at the market level. More than likely, if you're trying to spoof it, you're going to basically attempt or indicate that you're shorting a large amount at a very specific price. So that shows up on the sell side. When that shows up on the sell side, you know, what are people going to do? They're going to hop in front of that person and start selling to cause the price to drive down. When the price is driving down, that same person that put up the fake, you know, short wall indicating that they're shorting, but you don't know if they're shorting or not. It just shows up as a sell price. Then they're buying at that bottom level. So yeah, you need to have a good amount, you know, in order to really move it, you know, to your advantage. Collectively, though, you know, a bunch of us could move it if we wanted to collectively. I shouldn't be muted anymore, so I think it's good. Alabama, roll tide. Oh man, dude, I was at the Alabama Penn State game a couple years ago when you guys played us up here. It's a crazy time. Crazy time. Of course, we got whipped, but you know, it was a good game. Alameda, welcome. How's the wife and kids, dude? They're good. They're good. Driving me crazy sometimes, but you know, what can you do? San Diego, awesome place. I actually was there a couple years ago. Flew into Oakland. No, actually, I'm sorry. Flew into San Diego and then took highway. I think it was US Highway 5 all the way up to San Francisco, and then took US Highway 1 along the coast from San Francisco all the way down to San Diego again. But yeah, awesome time. Marion, let's see. So what do you do in a market that's consistently being manipulated? Stay out of the trades? No, I mean, you know, you got to play their game. You know, you're not going to be there to get the biggest slice of the pie, but, you know, you might be able to get a couple crumbs here and there. So that's why, you know, there's nothing wrong with taking profit. You know, if it presents itself and you're happy with your profit, be happy with them and take them. Because who knows, you know, it could be manipulated, and that's why it's going up to the upside. You know, when BTC started going up, you know, I told somebody, I was like, you know, I smell a conspiracy manipulation. This is definitely a manipulation. I mean, it went up $400 within a matter of no time. So, yeah, anybody can move it. You know, they can drop it, they can move it. Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying stay out of trading, you know, but let the trades come to you. Wait for a panic dip and then buy in instead of buying in when it's running up, because it's running up based on manipulation, and then it's just going to come crumbling right back down. Minnesota, welcome. Hold for 6 months and you'll be happy. Yeah, with some of these cryptocurrencies, you're absolutely right. You know, long-term holders are going to be rewarded. Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where my brother lives. Awesome. In Venezuela. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, guys. I do appreciate it. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at BCH. And I don't know if any of you guys are in BCH currently right now, but I did buy BCH. And I bought it Friday, I don't know, like 10 a.m. or no, I'm sorry, 10 p.m. It hit that price level that I was looking for, 200 and, you know, a penny, $200.01 is basically what it hit. Right after it hit it, you know, it actually ran up very nicely. So this is basically where I bought. Let me enlarge this a little bit. So it's this candlestick that I bought. Basically, I had that order, and there was a huge wall, a support, and that support wasn't going anywhere at all. It was actually a real support. It wasn't somebody, spoofing to get the price to actually go up, but it was a real wall that was put up. And it hit my $200 and a penny, executed. It hit the 200, completely cleared it out. And then what do you know? It had a nice run up all the way up to 277. I wanted to get out at 250, but then when I saw that, I canceled my order and put it in for 300 because I thought it was going to have a crazy run. I mean, it wasn't too far away from that 300, but of course it didn't. So, I mean, locking in the profits of $75 would have been great. And that would have been 75 per coin, which would have probably been like $900. But I didn't sell. I stayed with it, and I stayed with it. And that support definitely held. Yes, it did dip below our $200 price level. It got to 190, I think. I think that 190 was a low. Yeah, 190 and 10 cents. But ever since then, it's been climbing up nicely. A couple little dips here and there, but this is expected for profit taking. It's gonna happen when something runs up so fast, so much. Now, this could be manipulated easily. I mean, whoever's controlling Bitfinex could be controlling BCH, and I wouldn't doubt it at all. If they had a lot of Bitcoins and they got a lot of BCHs, they want that BCH to go up to 1,000, maybe 800, maybe, what basically the all-time high was on Bitfinex, almost $700. So there's a possibility that they could be manipulating this thing to actually get back up to that level. And it's going to take a good amount of buying power and really, putting up nice support walls to not prevent it from going down. But this is holding up pretty well. I thought that after it had this really nice run up to 265, that she would have come crashing back down to that 205, $200 level, but she didn't. She held up pretty nicely. So, I still do have a sell order in for 300, I think. Yes, 300 even. And I might change that. I might lower it depending on what that order book looks like and depending on how trades are being executed. But so far, good profit, but I haven't locked them in yet. So these are all unrealized profits as of right now. They're not realized at all. Might as well consider it fake profit until I actually hit the sell button. And then, the USD shows up in my account. Then it's a realized profit. Any thoughts on NEO? Yeah, it had a crazy run. Anybody that bought NEO in $5, $7 and was holding, yeah, I mean, they're doing great. And, it's definitely being supported in China and abroad. So, if you're able to buy this, in the 5 and 7 and you're still holding, I mean, you're sitting pretty well. So, you might actually even be sitting on a gold mine. We'll see, if it runs up to 20 and then still continue running. But I can see EOS, not now, but later on, EOS kind of doing the same thing. And EOS has been somewhat flatlined, which I'm very surprised, considering, there is somebody out there that controls Bitfinex. And I'm surprised they haven't gotten EOS to run and take off yet. As we know, OMG took off running to $3.70, something to that extent. I mean, it was like at $1.20, when I was waiting for it to get to $1 so I can buy in. And then it had a very, very nice, crazy run. And we can take a look at that later. They say it should be the next F. Yes, they say. And that's usually the magic word. They're saying that it might be. There's a lot of competition out there that once said, oh, you know what, this is going to kill Bitcoin. This is going to kill Bitcoin. And there was nothing out there. Still, there's nothing out there that's going to kill Bitcoin. And when I mean Bitcoin, I mean BTC. So, there's a lot of people that will probably say that, NEO or EOS is going to end up, overtaking Ether. I think it'll take some market share from Ether, but I don't think it'll overtake Ether. But yeah, it can definitely be the next Ether. It definitely needs a competition. But I think, Ether in the long term will completely win out. Have I read a book called Flash Boys? It's a great book about bots, manipulation, and high frequency trading. No, I'm going to have to look into that. Flash Boys or Flash Boys? I think I said Flash Boys, but Fast Boys. Yeah, I'll have to take a look at that. Yes, EOS is running on Ethereum token. Yes, it is. And I didn't say now, later on as the development continues, I think it could take some market share away. IOTA will kill Bitcoin on fundamentals. I don't know. A lot of things I've said about other cryptocurrencies killing Bitcoin, and that's never happened. So Yeah, I highly doubt it. Yeah, I think, and I mean, they need F. I mean, they don't need F, but they need cryptocurrency, and they need something that's solid, something that's stable, in order to raise the capital that they need. So yes, they are using F at this time, but I mean, anything could change. Especially if they end up, basically having other tokens created on their platform that actually are going to end up using EOS instead of using F. But yeah, they're using F at this time. Okay, Flash Boys. Yeah, that's what I figured. But no, I'll put that on my list, man. That'll be something I'll definitely check out if I have the time for it. And time is usually what I have issues with at this current time. So, but yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at. Somebody wanted me to take a look at ESL or XEL. But yeah, market cap. Let's go ahead and refresh this. It's got to be somewhere in the range of probably just a little under 120. So what was XEL? So 117 billion, basically $117.2 billion. So yeah, this is the highest it's ever been. And I mean, even if we take out $4.4 billion out of it, this is still pretty high for it. I mean, I think the highest that I saw it at was 112, a little over 112 billion. So this is still pretty high, if you take out Bitcoin Cash market cap. And as Bitcoin Cash ends up growing, and it will grow, the market cap will definitely get bigger. But XEL, what was XEL? Elastic. Never heard of Elastic. Bittrex. All right, so let's take out Bittrex. Dark pools. I will put that on my list as well. Yeah, I'm always looking for good things to read, as long as I have time for it. Maybe they have an audiobook. Yeah, The Big Short. It's a great movie. Great movie. My brother actually watched it and told me it was a good movie, but he didn't really know, what it was about. So I kind of had to explain to him, what shorting is, and he had no clue at all. But yeah, that's definitely a good movie. TL. NCL2, I don't know what that is. But yeah, we can take a look at it. As long as BCH is not going parabolic and taking off. But then I do want to take a look at Ether as well, too, because I do have a position in Ether still. And 270 is actually pretty good for Ether, considering where she was just currently at. And I'm not talking about the 130 bucks that it dipped to, the 185 last weekend that it hit. That was pretty impressive, basically. I mean, $100, $90 gains in a matter of a week. Flashboards is also a movie. Is that a movie based on the book, I'm assuming? Oh, this was just listed. This was just listed. June 30th. Yeah, I don't know about this. There's just really not much information. I mean, the only thing you can really do is just, try to pick out some patterns and see if it sticks to these patterns. So maybe it's forming a cup, possibly a handle. I mean, we're looking at a one-day candlestick charting. So, this really hasn't completely formed yet. But yeah, this could be a cup. We'll see if it actually, really forms a handle or if she just continues to grind down. But let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. And I think Bittrex is freezing up on me a little bit. So on the 15-minute chart, we're not going to be able to see, the full cup, unfortunately. But we'll be able to see the handle forming. Yeah, maybe like get out to a 30-minute chart, maybe. So we'll have to really see how she reacts. I mean, this is not something I'm buying. But I mean, if you are following this, I would definitely pay attention to that possibly 17,000 level and see if she maintains that 17,000 level. If she doesn't maintain that $17,000, I'm sorry, $17,000, 17,000 Satoshi level, then there's a possibility that, there is more downtrend. But yeah, as long as she maintains it and consolidates and moves sideways, that would be a perfect handle. But it's just kind of tough to say if she's going to maintain that support line. And it has a good support. Usually, I've talked about it in the past where, and it's not 100%, it's not all the time, but usually they like to make the previous high the new support. And that's what this was. This was a previous high that it got basically rejected from before it decided to, have a nice running start and break out above it. And it broke out above it, pretty good. It wasn't just a little of a break. And it sustained that move. So, as long as it can form that support right at that 17,000 Satoshi level, then, you're in the clear. And it has to really kind of start curving, at that 17,000 and not really, break it completely. If it breaks it completely, with a crazy candle with a lot of volume, then yeah, selling has basically intensified. And that just might be the start of the selling to actually maybe possibly bring it back further down to that 13,000 Satoshi range. And that 13,000, I mean, if you wanted to be patient with it, if I was looking at this trade and I wanted to be patient, that's probably what I would be looking at, right around the 13,000 Satoshi range. 3 times, it was basically a resistance for it. Couldn't break out above it. So if it breaks the 17, there's a possibility it could reach that 13. But yeah, I've never heard of Elastic. NCL2. And if you guys see a cryptocurrency that's running, especially, some of the top coins, LTC, BTC, Ethereum, Monero, let me know, and I'll gladly take a look at it. And LC2. Actually, NC. What am I typing here? I'm seeing the wrong thing. And LC2. No limit coin. Is this a chain link coin? No limit. Man, you guys are definitely introducing me to new coins that I've never heard of. What exchanges is this listed on? Oh man, pump and dump exchanges. Yobit, Cryptopia. Yeah, no exchange that I would probably trust for this. And I don't have access to any of these exchanges. Definitely a nice run or a nice pump or a nice manipulation, whatever you want to call it. I mean, this thing went from nothing. Yeah, somebody was definitely accumulating. So, I mean, I don't know if this is a pump and dump. But somebody kept volume very steady. And then maybe somebody got greedy right at this level here and bought more than they should have bought. Or somebody caught on to their trick and it was like, oh, somebody's accumulating here. Let me buy this. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely run up nicely. But yeah, this is too high. I mean, even though it's cheap, it's 11 cents. I mean, it's run up too much. That's kind of the way I see it. I mean, August 2nd was at 3 cents, basically. A little over 3 cents, 3.5 cents. Yeah, it's definitely a big spike in volume, big spike in price. Um, I mean, when something goes up so fast, so quick, I mean, you guys know it's only going to go, one direction. It's going to come down. It's not going to consolidate. It's going to have a huge correction. I mean, whoever's been buying this, in a fraction of a penny is going to be looking to unload, especially if they haven't sold already and it's at 12 cents. I mean, those are huge profits. But yeah, this is definitely for me, just for me to keep an eye on, see what it does. And I'll put it on my list. And if I have time and if I remember, I will periodically look at it. But just remember, I mean, what goes up so high so quick is only going to come down just as fast. And I think, we can see that with some of the coins that have gone up pretty significantly. I mean, they are going to have a turnaround. I think I looked at SafeX the other day. It might have been Friday. I looked at SafeX. Somebody asked me to take a look at it, and it was up pretty high. What is it doing now? Down 18% or so. So, a lot of times yesterday's winners are today's losers and vice versa. So, I mean, wow, they actually ran this thing up. And this was on the 6th. So yesterday. Today's the 7th. Yep. So yesterday they ran this thing up from 551 Satoshis all the way up to 10,000 Satoshis. And I mean, that's probably a 1 minute chart there. But let's go ahead and click to the 1 minute and see if that was a 1 minute pump and dump. Yep, definitely was a 1 minute pump and dump. It probably didn't even take them 1 minute to actually bring it down. To take it up, it was very quick. To bring it down, it was even quicker. But yeah, this is a 1 minute chart. I don't know why the volume is showing as 2. That's definitely misleading. I don't think that's correct. It's not going to go up on a volume of 2. From 601 Satoshis all the way to 10,000 Satoshis. Yeah, that's just crazy. What was the other one? There was another one. Volume of BTS is heavily manipulated by the Chinese. BTS? What is BTS? Or do you mean BTC? BitShares. Yeah, BitShares has been definitely on a downtrend. I looked at this, I forget when. But there isn't much hype to it anymore, to be honest with you. A while back, there was a good amount of hype. And there it is right there. I mean, that was the hype. Well, everybody was basically, asking me to take a look at it and what I thought of it. I'm like, this is way too much. And as we can see, I mean, it's just been grinding down. But it seems like for some apparent reason, it's trying to maintain that level of support where the previous high would have kind of hit, not exactly to a T, but it seems as though it's trying to maintain that level. So I'm going to put this on my list as well, too, to monitor and see if this actually starts to curve to the upside and form possibly a very symmetrical cup and handle. I mean, that's a possibility it's going to do that. Not anytime soon, but as long as it starts to curve up and it's not continuously breaking down and really, having a nice little dead cat bounce and then breaking right back down, it needs to maintain a nice level of uptrend very slowly but surely. If that's the case, then yeah, this would be a good entry. As long as she doesn't keep breaking, key levels. Because the next key level will be right around 3,600 Satoshis. But yeah, they definitely drove this down to the ground. But there's another one that I wanted to look at though before I get out of Bittrex. And that was what was that? It was down pretty good. There we go. Pay or 10x. I think this was 10x. And some of you guys I know, took this trade and made some money off of it, which was good. And you didn't overstay that trade. You saw the opportunity. It presented its opportunity to make a profit, and you took that profit, and that was probably the best decision. Especially if you bought it, in the mid of it being pushed to the upside, and you were able to lock in some of those profits. Because really, once it hits a point and selling intensifies, it's just going to keep coming down, and this could come down further. To be honest with you guys. But yeah, last Friday, this was definitely the winner. All right, let me get out of Bittrex. BTC just hit 3,400. Why am I talking about crap coins? Somebody asked me to take a look at it. So I normally don't look at crap coins, to be honest with you. But when somebody asks me to take a look at it, I'll take a look at it. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at BTC. Was it on G Dax? All right. Because I don't think on Bittrex it has hit. Let's see what it was. Actually, it did. 3,440 bucks is what it hit. $3,416. Yeah, 4,000 could definitely be in sight, before end of year, if not within a couple of weeks. If buying intensifies and there are whales out there that are going to manipulate this thing and they want it to go up, they'll take this up. Hands down, they're going to move this thing. And when they're ready to cash out and they want to bring it down, they're going to bring it down. So yeah, this is just scary. It is really scary. It wasn't long ago that it was really touching 1750-ish, or 1758, whatever it was, 1780. But yeah, for it to go up, all the way to 3,400 in a very short period of time, it's a little scary, scary for new people getting into this. Now, if you were in this at 1,700, 1,800, 1,900, even 2,000, 2,500, then yeah, you're fine, you're good. But anybody buying at these levels and expecting something more, could be really asking for trouble. Let's see. Hate to ask this, but did you ever bounce back from the 16K loss you got caused a lack of market crash on G Dax? So what happened was, and I don't know if you watched any of the previous videos. Where's the notification I got? It's on here somewhere. Oh, I guess I might have. It's gone. But yes, they did somewhat make it right. So as you guys remember, I bought F at $250 and 1 cent. So 250 and a penny is what my trade got executed for. And of course, I got liquidated like 93 bucks, 92 bucks, something to that extent. So when they decided that they were going to refund everybody's money, they basically placed everybody on the highest possible trade. So instead of really honoring that 250 execution price that I had, they really said, you know what, we're going to credit you based on $317.78, because I think that's when the crash really initiated, 317.64, whatever it was. So basically they put me in at an entry for Ether at 317 and change. So currently I'm down on that. So I do have about 53 ethers. So even with the ether that I was left with about 3.6 ether. I went ahead and sold those at a very nice profit, like $300 profit, because those are initiated at 250 and a penny. I went ahead and sold them at 328, and they actually calculated those as an entry at 317.64. So I would need F to get back up to 317, 318 for me to kind of break even from that drop. But I still have the F, and I still believe in F. And I think it can get back up to that level that it was. And it can easily. It came back from 130 to 270. So I'm not too worried about it. But I do have not all of them, but majority of them. But if they would have actually said, you know what, we're going to honor that 250, prior to the crash happening, and they would honor that 250, I would have had an extra 15. So it would have been like 68 ether that I would have had. But yeah, as long as the price goes right back up to 317, 318, then I would have recovered 100% from it. But I'm still holding on to those. So I do have a very high sell price of 500 bucks. And that's just so I don't touch them. But yeah, so far recovered from it. Yeah, you're right. There are a lot of coins out there, that are being created, and they're just not being created on. I mean, majority of them are being created on the Ethereum network, but not all of them are, and a handful of them will survive. And we can take a look at that too. And I don't know if you guys knew on CoinMarketCap, and thank you for mentioning that. We can take a look at basically. We'll wait for it to load up. I did not know BitShares used to be Proto shares. I had no clue if that is the case. So basically, if you're looking at CoinMarketCap, if you go under assets, so there's about 195 assets that they're listing, and it'll tell you exactly. And if you click on platform here, then it'll list it kind of in order, and it'll basically tell you, just about every cryptocurrency and what platform are they created on. And of course, we all know that majority of the tokens are created on the Ethereum network. So if this thing kind of cooperates with me. But you can see, Waves has a good amount, and I had these written down a while back to see how many coins were created on each platform. But Waves has a good amount, and you can kind of see the coins that are on Waves, as well as Ubique, Omni, NXT, Neo has only got one, and that's Gas, Nubits, NIM, and of course Ethereum, which has the most that's created. And if you really look at the coins, or I'm sorry, Counterparty is also on there. Burst. But if you really look at the coins, the most popular coins are created on the Ethereum network. So, my honest opinion is, some of those coins, not all of them that are built on the Ethereum network, are the ones that are going to probably survive. And there'll only be a handful of them that will survive from what's being created on the Ethereum network. But I mean, yeah, there's a good amount of them, and a lot of them are scams. A lot of them are basically used for pump and dumps only, and that's it. MYST. I don't know. I will see. It all depends what some of these popular cryptocurrencies are doing, what BTC is doing. Because I definitely want to start following BTC just a little bit, even though I don't have a position in it. But I want to see if it starts to really break out. Because if it does break out, then I want to see the correlation on BCH to see if BCH is gonna start dropping. But BCH is holding up pretty well right now, as BTC is going up. But we'll see, once it actually really starts breaking, that level of 3440, gets up to 3,500. Hopefully, they don't start selling BCH. But, when the sell-off does happen, when the retracement to the downside does happen on BTC, more than likely, people are going to put money into other cryptocurrencies, or they're going to sit on USD. And we'll see if BCH will actually follow a nice upward trend as BTC is downtrending. Yeah, this is a crazy market, Ash. I mean, this is a crazy market. Dips like this don't normally happen. Bear markets last for a very extended period of time in a regular conventional market. This is not a regular conventional market, where it dips, from 3,000 to 1,750 and then comes right back up with a vengeance as though nothing ever happened. Unless somebody was really analyzing the chart and looking at the charts, they wouldn't have known that BTC had dropped to 1,750, especially if somebody was, on vacation, out of town, whatever it might be, with no internet connection, no connection to civilization at all, and they had BTC. They wouldn't have seen a drop in the 1,750 at all. They would have come back and been like, oh, BTC is right where I left it. It's actually higher than where I left it. That's great. Until they probably analyze a chart and say, whoa, this thing did tank and it dropped from 3,000 to 1,750. But yeah, this isn't a norm of a market at all, especially with how unregulated it is, especially with exchanges, with some of the spoofing, some of the layering, some of the manipulation that goes on. In the traditional financial market, it's illegal. It's illegal to layer your orders. It's illegal to spoof, and people have gotten convicted over that. So it is a wild, wild west. But yeah, I wanted to kind of look at Neo. Since somebody had actually mentioned it. Okay, ZS, not a problem, man. Not a problem at all. Yeah, but I was talking about other cryptocurrency, and I didn't realize BTC was, really making all-time highs and really, getting to a level that was unseen and probably unheard of. I didn't think that she would be at this level currently right now. Maybe towards the end of the year, yes. I would expect it to get to this level 3,500, but not when there's about 5 months left in the year. They changed the symbol yet? Let's see, is it Neo? Yep, they did finally change the symbol. Raphael, let's see. It's a shame it's so hard to buy. Wasted close to a week waiting for a deposit. That was deposit on Uphold. I don't know what you mean by Uphold. Yeah, I don't know what exchange you're using or what country you're located out of. But if you have access to Gemini, I would definitely use Gemini. In the sense that your funds, because they will allow you to deposit $500 per day, and you can actually deposit $1,000, within a certain time frame, depending on, the when their business date switches over. For me, it's basically 5 p.m. Eastern time zone. So prior to 5 p.m., I can deposit $500. After 5 p.m., I can deposit another $500 for a total of 1,000, and those funds are available instantly right away. Now, it's not available for you to transfer those coins that you use to purchase with that money that you just deposited, but it does allow you to trade back and forth as many times as you want with the funds that you have in there until the funds actually clear. Once the funds clear, which could take 4 to 5 business days, then you're able to withdraw that money or transfer the funds out of Gemini and onto a different exchange. So I would definitely look at Gemini. Yeah, you got to be careful. The prices on CoinMarketCap or CoinCap, whatever it is that you're looking at, because they do take an average of some of the exchanges, and I don't think they take Coinbase price as an average to basically to dictate what the price is of that cryptocurrency. But yeah, it's just an average of, I think, 5 or 6, and they do list it on their website. I forget where on their website. What exchanges do they factor into to determining what the price of that cryptocurrency is? And there's about, I think Kraken is one of them. Bittrex is another one, and then maybe two other exchanges that they do basically kind of average their prices out. But yeah, Coinbase is not one of them. Yes, Ash. This breakout is artificial, complete manipulation, and let me just look at Neo real quick. But yeah, I said that the other day. When BTC really broke out above 3,000 and got to 3,100, 3,200, 3,300, I was like, I smell a conspiracy manipulation. This is being manipulated to the upside, and it's still holding pretty well, which I'm very surprised it is, and that's great that it is holding up pretty well, and they didn't just pump it and then completely dump it. For somebody to start really crying foul and really put some fire, onto these exchanges to regulate this, to stop, their exchanges from being used as a vehicle to manipulate other traders. A lot of exchanges have terms and conditions, and it basically states on there that it's against their policy to do any type of manipulation on their exchange, but they still allow it though, because the people that are manipulating are the ones that have millions of dollars on that exchange. So if they were to stop that person from manipulating, the cryptocurrencies that are listed on their exchange, what is that person going to do? That more than likely they're going to move that money out to a different exchange, and that exchange doesn't want to lose all that funding. So it kind of works both ways. The exchanges are allowing it to be manipulated, but they could stop it, but then they lose the revenues that they're generating from it. SafeX is a good investment. I don't know, man. So, wow. Okay. I'm just reading this message now. Let me see. You bought 1, 2, 3. I'm trying to figure out this math. 1.7 million SafeX. You put 2 sell orders in for 1,400 Satoshis, as well as 2,600 Satoshis. And it went, yeah, it did go to 10,000. I saw that. We just briefly looked at it. And Bittrex automatically canceled your order. That is shady. That is shady. And I've heard of that happening. I haven't heard of it happening on Bittrex, but I've heard of it happening on Coinbase. When the market really starts to move, they have canceled orders from what some traders have experienced. So yeah, it's not the first. You're not the first, and you're definitely not going to be the last. Yeah, complaining is not going to do anything at all. Your best option, really, our best option is, to file a complaint with the Attorney General's office, especially if they're a U.S. exchange. Filing a complaint with the U.S. Attorney General's office would be a little better than filing a complaint with actually Bittrex, because yeah, if you do that, they're not going to care at all. Not one bit. But Neo. So when was that branding? That branding was July 24th, and I remember looking at it on July 24th. And it actually had not made any type of move on that day. Yeah, there's the 24th here. I remember looking at it. I'm like, wow, really, that branding had no impact to the upside for it at all. More than likely, it actually drove it down, but they pulled it right back up. So yeah, if you took a position in this, and and I hope you guys did. I didn't take a position in this. I didn't tell anybody to take a position in it. But if you thought that this was a great trade for you, it definitely paid off. Especially if you were able to get this, somewhere in the range of 300,000 satoshis, it definitely paid off. A lot of people had money in the 5 and 7. I remember looking at it in the 7 and 8, and I was like, maybe if it comes down back to 5, that would be a good entry. But yeah, definitely to make it all the way up to 2286. Yeah, a lot of people are being rewarded. Let me see, Crypto Dennis saying surprised at BTH. I'm assuming Bitcoin hard fork. It's got so many different names: BCC, BCH, BTH, Bcash. That's crazy. Every time a new block was mined, it dropped. Interesting. So I'm assuming they want to get the difficulty to drop. That's the only way that it would drop every time a new block was mined. That just doesn't make sense at all. Somebody is manipulating it. I mean, we can't really put that past anyone at all. And really, that has to be something that should be ingrained in our head. Anytime we're thinking about the market, that is this a manipulation? Is somebody trying to manipulate the price to their advantage? More than likely, yes, they are. Yeah, I like Gemini too. I've used them in the past. I haven't really been using them as much recently, but they're great for deposits. I just don't like their commission. Their commission sucks. You end up paying for it. Okay, so Uphold is a service where you can deposit fiat, but it takes 5 business days. So there's just a holding period. So I'm not sure where you're from, Raphael, but yeah, it's almost the same thing with us here. I can transfer money from my bank account to Coinbase, and it'll take, they usually say 3 to 4 business days, but it takes longer than that. But yeah, there is a 3 to 4 business days waiting period for the funds to kind of clear. But with Gemini, they'll give you access to those funds instantly right away, until really people start abusing that and not really having funds in their account, and really just getting the 500 in there and start making trades because the market is moving and it's moving to their advantage, where Gemini could say, what, people are basically trying to manipulate us by us really having this instant deposit, and they could stop that at any time. ATMs charge 7%. It's not even worth it. It is not worth it to use those ATMs. That's a huge fee. I mean, a lot of traders look for the 7%, 8% returns on a trade, and you're paying that as a fee. Yeah, that's not good. Ash, exactly. They do. Yes. And that's the dangerous thing about exchanges, especially if you have an employee at an exchange that kind of goes rogue, and is selling, customer specific data, or proprietary data, to somebody with a lot of money, who's willing to pay for that type of information. Yeah, I mean, they could be in cahoots with, a big well, and they can buy that information and find out exactly where, majority of the stop losses are, and basically figure out, okay, how much do I need to sell at the market level to bring it down to that level, to where I'm going to be sitting there and just buying everything. But yeah, it's crazy and it's scary, unfortunately. So yeah, and that's what I figured, Crypto Dent. Yeah, I think they're taking their time mining those blocks to lower the difficulty. That's the only explanation that I can think of. 7% to stay anonymous. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if you're ever anonymous. I hate to say that. You might be anonymous only for a little bit, but once you move it to an exchange to sell it, yeah, you're not going to be anonymous. Unfortunately, man, unfortunately, none of our trades are anonymous. Yeah, and I want to do a big shout out too, because I know a lot of you guys have been, or ladies, have been supporting crypto traders. Whether you're, tweeting out, our live stream, or sharing our live stream on your Facebook, profile, or even talking to your friends, that might be interested in cryptocurrency, sending them a link. But also, the people that are utilizing, our $10 referral for signing up with Coinbase. I've gotten a couple of those, and that's been very helpful. As well as Bitfinex. We do have a referral code for Bitfinex, and I've seen that it's been used a good amount of time. You guys have clicked on it and started an account. But Amazon as well too. A lot of people have clicked on that Amazon link and purchased whatever it is that they need to purchase, and that's just a great way of supporting Crypto Trader. If you're looking to buy something on Amazon, and I know my boy Scott M. I don't know if you're on this live stream, but yes, Scott M has been heavily using it, and he'll shoot me a text message periodically here and there saying, hey, there should be an order coming in for like $100. But yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it, Scott, and everybody else that's been supporting Crypto Traders Room by utilizing the links that we have for Amazon, for Coinbase, for Bitfinex. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. AJ, it all depends. I mean, are you a long-term investor, or are you trying to hold it short term? And if you're holding it short term, how much of a profit do you have? And are you happy with those profits? And as long as you're happy with those profits, yeah, I would be locking in some. I can't say, how high it's going to go or how low it's going to go. It definitely has a support. I guess it all depends on how China's willing to support it. If China loses faith in it, I mean, we know what direction it's going to take. But as long as the support is there from China, then it could do something great. I mean, it was just at $5, $7, $8 not long ago, hitting $20. It is going to have a pullback. You got to factor that in. So anybody looking to get into it at this current stage that it's in right now might not be the best opportunity. I would definitely watch it like a hawk and wait for a retracement to get in. If you believe that the long-term outlook is going to be great for NEO, and that it's going to have continuous support from the Chinese. Once that support goes through the window, though, it's going to come crashing. Does it include Kindle orders? That's a good question, Carl. I don't know. I think as long as you use that link, it should. I know it covers, if you order Amazon Prime or any type of Amazon services through that link, Crypto Traders Room does get a little bit of a finder's fee. We'll just call it a finder's fee, where they'll pay us a little bit of a commission. AJ, it is. It definitely is, especially if you get a good entry and you're building a position. Long-term traders will be rewarded. You definitely will be. I could have definitely made a lot more money if I was a long-term holder than trading it. Crypto Dent, thank you, man. I appreciate it. If that is geared towards me, that I always seem to offer actual useful info. Thank you so much. And that's really what Crypto Traders Room is about. And I've mentioned it in the past before. We want to be the frontier for bringing out the truth. We're not here to manipulate anybody. We're not here to spoof or layer any type of transactions. We want to be as honest as we can with as many people as we can. We try to keep it real. Yeah, I'm going to look into Twitch. I haven't looked into Twitch at all, to be honest with you. But I'm going to put that on my list and look into it. Do I see F having a pullback? I mean, it is up to 270, 272. I'm holding ETH. I'm not selling ETH at all. I mean, this is a nice rebound, of course. If you bought it last week at, in the 185, yeah, it's a significant gain. But yeah, I think, in the long term, ETH is a good long term hold. In the long term, it's going to provide really sustainable profit. ETH is not going anywhere. Ethereum is not going anywhere. There's always going to be ICOs that are coming out, and they need ETH. They need Ethereum to be able to. I mean, of course, they're going to end up selling it as well too, but they need Ethereum in order to list their ICO or to make money from their ICO. And as long as things are getting built on the Ethereum network and Ether is being bought and sold, it should keep the price pretty healthy. Yeah, you're going to have up and down dips. That's going to happen. But yeah, depending on what your entry was, I mean, even if I had an entry, of $200 or even 150, I don't think I would be selling ETH. Now, if this was a different cryptocurrency, yes, I would probably be getting rid of it and locking in those profits. But ETH is definitely a long-term hold, depending on what your position is, where you got in. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to lock in profit, especially if that is a rule that you've set for yourself, saying, what, if it goes up $50, I'm going to sell X amount. If it goes up another $50, I'll sell another X amount. And then later on, if it does have a correction, a nice healthy correction, you can utilize the capital as well as the profit that you took along the way to be able to buy in a little more. But yeah, I don't think ETH is in the process of slowing down currently right now. Yeah, she's having, nice little corrections, which is very healthy. It needs to do that. Like, it just can't keep going up and up and up and up, because then the crash is going to be violent. But this is healthy. I mean, this is very nice. And every time it dips, it comes right back up and starts really making new highs based on that day's price. So it's done that. Let's see how many times today. We won't even look at this breakout, really. I mean, when it broke out from 220, broke out all the way up to let's just say 260, retraced, had a new high, retraced, had a new high. Here's a retracement, almost had a new high up here, but didn't do it, but then end up forming a new high up here. So I mean, it could continuously do this. It could break down just with profit taken happening and then start forming a new high, break down again with profit taken, start forming a new high. This could continuously do it. And if we really look at a cryptocurrency that has been doing that, and we look at it on a larger time frame, it's going to be Litecoin. Let me get rid of enlarge this. But Litecoin on a daily, and I should probably look at Crypto Watch. So let's go ahead and take a look at, we'll take a look at LTC on G Dax on the one-day chart. So this will be, what long-term investors should be looking at, not the 30 minutes or the hour or the 15-minute chart. So if we really look at the LTC on a daily, so that each candlestick kind of represents one day's worth of price action, that's exactly what it's been doing. Having a nice run, completely, not breaking down in the sense that it's a major crash, but it's profit taken. It's a little minor pullback, and then it starts making new highs, pulls back, makes new highs, pulls back, makes new highs. I mean, that's continuously what it's been doing. So this is a very good example of, what a trend should be if you're a long-term investor and looking at this on a long-term outlook, is this is the type of pattern that you want to see. You want to see that it's continuously making new highs. Yes, it's going to have a pullback, but those pullbacks should not be bothering a long-term investor, because you're not looking at this on a day-to-day where you're going to panic out, where it would go from 35 all the way down to 19. You're not going to panic. You're not even going to see that, because you're not going to be really following it. This is only 3 days worth of movement. So within those 3 days, you're not going to really be looking at it like a hawk. But then you're going to look at it again and be like, okay, it's now an uptrend. So this is the type of chart that I would like to see if I was a long-term investor in any cryptocurrency. Unfortunately, ETH is not one of them. I am invested in that long-term, but if we look at the one-day daily chart, it's not going to have that same type of pattern. Has nice moves continuously, with ICOs coming out left and right. But yeah, no major, no pump, consolidation, and then another push up to the upside. Breaks down, consolidation, pushes up to the upside again. This is, a continuous upswing to 420, and then a complete breakdown down to 130-ish. 130.26 was the breakdown, aside from this flash crash here. But yeah, LTC is gearing up. I think it's gearing up for another push to the upside. And I think currently right now as well too with LTC, with Ether is also gearing up for possibly another push to the upside. I mean, it is making lower highs basically. I mean, it hasn't broken out above the 420 yet, but it is making higher lows or lower highs, however way you want to phrase that. But as long as this keeps going up on a nice uptrend, we're still going to be, possibly getting close to that, 420-ish and possibly having a breakout to 500. I can see this thing, in a couple of months, 2 to 3 months, as long as it has, continuous growth to the upside where it's just continuously, making new highs. Yes, it's going to have the breakdown. It's going to have the consolidation. But as long as it gets out of that breakdown and out of the consolidation where, a lot of profit taking is going to happen, it's going to bring the price down. But as long as it doesn't cause the price to really crash and really heavily correct, back to the under $200 level, this is going to be a healthy growth, going forward, possibly to break that 422 or 420 bucks that it previously hit. But yeah, I mean, this is going to have a breakdown. I mean, this is 3 days worth of nice movement going from 220 bucks all the way to 274, within 3 days. So, tomorrow could be a day of correction where it could have a red day. And then the next days after that, it could be somewhat consolidating before finding its pattern and moving up. But yeah, I think cryptocurrencies right now, are going to be on the up. I don't think any of them are going to be crashing to where we're going to be like, all right, you know what? We are looking at a temporary bear market where things are crashing. Everything's on an up, but that could easily change at any time with any whale that's got tons of money that's looking to move this thing or just looking to drop it. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Try to respond to some of the comments. But yeah, 63 people on this live stream. Thank you so much, guys. I do appreciate it. It might be a little more. I haven't hit refresh yet. My one screen seems to be frozen for some apparent reason. But yeah, it's 63 as I'm seeing right now. I mean, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you spending your time with me. You guys can be probably spending your time doing other things. So thank you so much. That's awesome. And if you are new to this live stream, don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification, and then stay connected with us on Steemit, Twitter, as well as Facebook. All right, let me see some of the comments. And if any of them are geared towards me, I will definitely respond to them. But some of the comments might not be geared towards me. You guys might be responding to somebody else's comment. Raphael, it's good that you mentioned that. Yes, and that is in the works right now. We should be close to getting that finalized pretty soon. We're just kind of working on a couple little things, just making sure everything's working. But yes, I will be offering a kind of like a group type of session where I don't know how many people I'm going to take per session, maybe 10 people per session, and these are mainly geared towards new traders. Somebody that's looking to get into the market that has no clue about how to set up an account, how to trade an account, how to fund that account, how to do arbitrage. So I would be basically walking them step by step on, how to set up an account, fund it, buy your first cryptocurrency, sell your first cryptocurrency, transfer it to a different exchange, arbitrage it. We'll be covering all that type of information. And then the other session is going to be kind of like a personalized 101 type of session, where it's going to be basically tailored to your specific needs, your specific maybe weakness, whatever it might be within the market, whether it's looking at trends or, finding, different support lines and how to really analyze the market. So that would be kind of like a personalized 101 type of session that I would be doing. But yeah, those are going to be, coming out hopefully very soon. But yeah, thank you for mentioning that. But there is something in the works, and it's almost, completed basically. Bitcoins. I've never heard of Bitcoins. It looks like a great platform. I got a lot of things on my list, but I will try to look at it. I don't know what it is. Charging 1F depending on price is going to need to change with these ICOs. Yeah, something's got to change. new ICOs will come on board, as old ones will die, and who knows, how they're going to end up charging. But yeah, you're absolutely right. That whole model could be completely changed. Is it a good time to buy BCH? I'd like it in the 200 range, and that's kind of what I bought it. 200 is really, the price that I was looking at, and that's the price that I had executed. Hopefully I can get 50% return out of it. So, 300, maybe a little under 300, I would be looking to sell. And right now, I mean, it's not bad profit right now. It's, over 25% in profit, which is very significant. But I haven't taken those profits yet. I haven't locked them in. Extreme F1. So that was you who asked me to take a look at SafeX. I forget when that was. But yeah, it did go up, and now I think it's down. I mean, what goes up must come down. I think SafeX was down 20%. I kind of forget. I looked at it earlier. Breck, you bought it at 250, 260. Breck, was that you who sold it or who bought it in high and then sold it at 300? I don't know if that was you or somebody else from our chat. Yeah, SafeX is down 14%. But yeah, I mean, could be a profit taken. Oh yeah, we did look at this earlier because yeah, they ran it up from like 600 Satoshis all the way to 10,000 within a matter of seconds, basically. Okay, you bought F. All right, gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if that was you who bought BCH at a very high price. But yeah, I mean, I still give F, that end of the year price target of 1,000. I'm going to stay firm to that, and I'm going to stay firm to ETC price target at 50 as well too, and LTC price target of 100. It's definitely feasible. There's a lot of time left in the year that they could do that. You got a 332 PK? Yeah, I guess, yeah, you got to hold, man. I wouldn't sell at all. I'm not selling. My entry was let's just say 318. 318 was my entry. But yeah, I'm not selling. Excuse me. All right, what is BTC doing? Is BTC breaking out, or is somebody holding it down? And guys, so you got to remember too, just because we look at the order book doesn't necessarily mean that there isn't any hidden orders in the book. There could be hidden orders that we just can't see them. They're not, I mean, they're there and they will execute if it gets to that price. But, whoever, has a hidden order, yes, they're going to pay a little bit more in commission, but it's a way for them to not scare people off from buying. So they might have a huge, large sell order. And the only way to really determine if it's a hidden order is if the price is not moving at all. And there's nothing in the order book that would indicate to keep the price stale, from moving. So, if you do see that the price is not moving at all, and things are being executed, but nothing's actually being executed from the bid side, then you know that it's basically a hidden order for a very large amount that's sitting at a very specific price that slowly but surely is just being executed. So, I mean, there could be tons of hidden orders. We just can't see them at all. But let's see if anybody's keeping this down below 3,500. Really nothing that would kind of draw an alarm. I was expecting to see a couple hundred. All right, here we go. So 57 sellers for about 105 BTCs at 3,500 even, and then 8 sellers at 34.99. So they are the ones that are somewhat keeping it from moving up. Another 155 at 35.50. But let's see what it looks like at 34.40, 34.50-ish. No, nothing at 34.40, which is a high. So they're really, I mean, yeah, 75 to 59. I mean, and we are talking about BTC at a very high price, and that's a good amount of dollar, you know, that's sitting at that on that side. But you know, it's nothing that's in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of BTCs that are being sold that's preventing the price from moving up, unless there's just hidden orders that are slowly but surely being executed. And nothing crazy on the buy side either, especially getting down to 3,200, 32.20, 103. Yes, I don't see much at all that's preventing this thing from moving. When will Litecoin move to 50 or greater than 50? Yeah, I'm surprised it's not there already. It'll have its parabolic move. It'll have its day. And I mean, we've seen it. It's had its day when it's really moved up significantly. And it will. I guess it all depends, you know, who's got the money to move it. And are they ready to move it, you know, this minute, this second? Or are they going to wait until everybody's sleeping? BQX, I don't know what BQX is, but I will put it on the list if I remember to look at it. I'm trying to see if our guy came back who was layering his orders. No, that person is no longer on here anymore. All right, let's see if this is the same person here. 136. All right, so we found this person. All right, so I think I found this person again. All right, so we're going to take a look at, I think I kind of lost track of him, but here we go here. So this is a good example of layering orders. So one buyer, 200 coins at 166 price point. So what this person is doing is basically increments of $10. So then 156 is another 200. So somebody else is hopping in with him, putting in 0.06. So next one we'll see is 146. So 146 even price should have 200 on it, which it does. Next one is going to be 136. 136 should have an even price on it, which it does, of 200. Let's see, 126. 126 is 200. 116. Where's 116? All right, so he stopped at 126, but that's an example there of one person basically kind of layering their orders, you know, in different price points, and they're hard to spot out. But if that is something you're looking for, you can definitely find them. Let's see if this 9110 is the same person. So then what we're looking for is basically something that's ending in 10 cents. So he could be part of this $80.01. We just don't know because there are 3 buyers sitting at that level. But we'll take a look further and see if there is one buyer for 200 at 71.20. So 71.20, he's there, and then 51.20, he's there. So those are difference of $20. Let's see if he was in the 60s. Yeah, it's becoming harder to track this person now, but they're there. They have their orders, layered, scattered out, but it wasn't as obvious as it was before. Norman, for short-term trading, it's 40% profit, a good position to sell. Yeah. Don't let anybody tell you no. Yeah, definitely, man. 40% profit is good. Yeah, somebody just gave you basically, I mean, you put $100 in, somebody just gave you an extra 40 and said, here, I'm going to give you 140. Crypto Dent, let's see. You bought F325 all the way down to 140, average in for about 245. See, that's awesome. And that's exactly what I've talked about in the past when I was actually averaging down on Litecoin. And I basically, I mean, there's no sense of, buying something that's so high and not having any capital left over to add more to it to lower your cost average. So yes, it hasn't gotten up to 325 from your original purchase, but that doesn't matter anymore because you've lowered your cost average down to 245. So you're really in the profit. Whereas if you would have just held on to that purchase of 325 and never added anything on, you would still be down. You'd still be in the hole, not by much because the price is 270, but you wouldn't be in the green. Right now, though, currently at this time, you are in the green because you did the right strategy. You had capital left over and you basically averaged down to 245. So that's awesome. And that's what I like to see. I like to see you guys using some strategies, to lower your cost average. So going all in, and I do it. I do. So, it's just, don't place the same trades that I place because this could come back to bite me because I'm all in. Yes, I have funds available that I could transfer over, but it's just not on this exchange to be able to take advantage of it right away. But you always want to have funds, especially if you're just a new trader, you're starting out, buy a little bit, see what it does. If it dips on you, buy a little bit more, lower that cost average. So, Crypto Dent, that's awesome, man. Bravo. That's the best way of playing it. What is the feature of DGB? I don't know, man. It's taking people's money. It's taking a lot of people's money, unfortunately. I don't know. I never trusted DigiBytes, and I never bought it. I've looked at it because a lot of the viewers have asked me to take a look at it, but that's it. OMG, I do like OMG. I don't know if I would like it at this price. Is it going back up? I mean, the high was 370 or 389 was the high. So I don't know where you bought it if you're asking if it's going to go back up. But yeah, this is not a good level to be buying it. Not for me, especially. I mean, the level was there when I was really following it, at $1.10, $1.20. Even if you bought it at $2.50, you're still in the profit. You're still good. But no, I would wait. I would wait for this, if you're not in it yet. I might, if I have funds available, I might buy this at $2.50 if it gets to $2.50. But that would be a $2.50 entry, a $3 exit, basically, for 50 cents. I wouldn't be looking to hold this long term. Yes, PK, I think they did that. It wasn't recently. It was a couple of days ago that they enabled Bitcoin Cash deposits. Don't try to PK. Don't try to arbitrage BCH. It's not worth it. It'll take forever. Yeah, transaction time is slow. I don't know if you guys have tried it. Let me know. I mean, I know a while back it was like 6 hours, 12 hours, possibly a day. So if anybody has gotten, you know, a BCH transfer to go through within X amount of time, let us know, because you might have gotten lucky. But yeah, it's not worth it to arbitrage at all. Not BCH at the specific time. Rocky Mountain, love hearing about those profits, man. 25%. That's solid. That is solid. Let's see, Desert Fox. Since there are hidden orders, does the orders from the whales that aren't hidden, are they meant to be seen? Yes, they are meant to be seen. So the hidden ones are actual orders that they want to execute. You know, they want to get out of their position or they want to add to their position. So they'll pay an extra fee to hide their order. But yeah, the ones that are actually just moving throughout the whole order book. Let's see if we find any. Now bots could also, you know, do this as well too. But you'll see, you know, a couple thousand just rapidly move throughout this order book, and that's basically a form of spoofing. But yeah, they'll, you know, if their orders are seen, and I mean, if you can determine that they're a whale, somebody that's looking to manipulate it, then yeah, that's what they're looking to do. Especially if somebody puts up a big, huge wall and then takes it off, you know exactly what they're trying to do. You know, they want everybody to see that wall. So, you know, because they want everybody to start buying and cause the price to go up. As the price is going up, they already have things on the sell side. You know, so yeah, if they want the price to go up, they're going to show you a huge sell wall or a huge buy wall. If they want the price to go down so they can add on to their position, they'll show you a big sell wall. And traders kind of feed off of that and say, whoa, there's somebody big that's looking to get in. Let me get in before they do, because they'll cause the market to go parabolic, and then vice versa as well too. But yeah, let's see if we pick out any bots moving, you know, a couple thousand throughout the order book. I've seen it before. I know they've done it. It might not be active on LTC right now, but maybe Ether. Do I think what will go to 2? OMG? Yeah, I mean, if OMG price movement, if that is what you're talking about, if OMG price movement was fabricated, then yes, you know, I mean, it will come back down to 2. But if it wasn't fabricated and it wasn't manipulated, then it could sustain that price and actually continue to grind up higher. We just don't know if it is being manipulated or not. I mean, it had a nice move and it sustained that move. It had nice corrections, which is healthy, which is normal, but it didn't come crashing back down to where she came from. You know, she's still maintaining that $3. So, you know, is somebody just manipulating it to make us think that, oh, this is solid, it's maintaining that price, let me get in? That's a possibility, man. It's a possibility. I wouldn't put it over, you know, I wouldn't put that on the back burner and say, oh no, that's not happening. The price has been sustained, it's moving up. This is a gradual move to the upside. No, they could keep that price there if they wanted to, by buying and selling to each other, basically. I mean, I could buy and sell to myself if I wanted to. So they can maintain that price and they can keep it pretty steady at that level until they get people to hop on thinking, okay, you know what, this is maintain a good price. This is a solid support. You know, it can only go up from here on, and yeah, they can manipulate it to go up. You just tuned in. Well, welcome. What do I think of IOTA? IOTA had a nice run. I mean, I covered IOTA. I covered SAN. I covered OMG. I covered EOS on maybe 2 of the previous live streams. But they were titled, you know, EOS, OMG, IOTA, and SAN. So definitely watch that video and then watch the following video after that, because I kind of had to break down the analysis on coins, because there were 4 coins. So I did 2 on one video and then 2 on another video. But I do like IOTA. I really do. I just don't, you know, I wasn't able to catch it at the price that I was looking for. And the price did have a nice drop. It dropped to, I think, 23 cents or 24 cents, something to that extent. But yeah, I mean, unless I, you know, take a position in it, it's It kind of sucks to watch it go up. But no, this is too fast. I mean, as of the 3rd, today's the 7th, 4 days. I mean, let's just say August 1st. You know, it was basically a little over 24 cents, from 24 cents to 47 cents. That's a huge move. That's too big for me to chase it, especially. Nano S is shipping in September. Well, that's good to know. I mean, September's still a long way from now, though. But yeah, I mean, you can get hardware wallets on Amazon. Unfortunately, you're going to pay premium for it. And that does kind of suck, but you know, you're able to get them. Okay, SkyTech. So yesterday it took 6 hours, 20 confirmations, Exodus, Bittrex, from Exodus to Bittrex, Bitcoin Cash. I'm going to say 6 hours isn't bad, to be honest with you. And I mean, it's bad if you're looking to arbitrage it. Yes, 6 hours is horrible. And I would say no more than 15 minutes if you're looking to arbitrage. But, you know, I mean, 6 hours is not bad at all, considering it doesn't have, you know, a lot of support from the miners yet. But yeah, 20 confirmations though, I don't know, you know, they should lower that confirmation count. EOS, you know, I did kind of briefly mention this earlier today. EOS is really the only one that hasn't had a nice run up. I mean, it's got some great backing from the community. It's got some great developers, but it has not been manipulated to the upside. And you know, there are very, very few cryptocurrencies that, you know, that they can manipulate on Bittrex. I'm sorry, on Bitfinex. And this definitely happens to be one of them. Yeah, it had a nice run. You know, I mean, they ran it up to $5, you know, $5.50, I think it was, you know, when it was first listed, brought it right back down to $1.13-ish. So, I mean, this is a pretty good level. It really is. And if I had funds available, you know, I would be looking at that 170, 150 possibly to take a position. But that would be a long-term hold. This would not be something to trade unless it goes, you know, from, you know, 175 or $2 all the way up to $5. Then yes, I would be locking in profits and taking those profits out. But if it's continuously just grinding to the upside, then yeah, it's a long-term play. And right now, I think, you know, anybody that's in it should be considering this as a long-term play. You know, I think there'll be a lot of news, you know, closer to, you know, when EOS really finalizes and is ready to launch and possibly compete with Ethereum. So you know, leading up to that, I mean, especially if you're invested in EOS, I would be heavily looking at the news because people will be buying the news or buying the rumor and then actually selling the news. Oni, welcome, buddy. You just woke up. Nice, dude. Yeah, I was up at 4:30 because of it started downpouring, and my son woke up at 4:30. Yeah, I'll probably be taking a cat nap later on. But yeah, welcome. Let's see what you're saying. Neo Prophet got me waking up feeling like Disney princess. That's good, man. I'm glad to hear you guys are taking profit. And you know, there's no shame at all in locking in profits. And if you have those profits, you know, don't let anybody convince you to not lock them in and that it should be a long-term hold. You know, be happy with the profits you have because just like any cryptocurrency, Neo can be manipulated as well too. You know, there are people out there that are, you know, millions of dollars that are going to be possibly manipulating Neo. So, you know, you have profits, take them. Steven, welcome, buddy. Or Stefan, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at, I'll take a look at Strat. I don't know if I'll take a look at it right now this second, but I definitely want to take a look at, what was it? Litecoin, because I still do want to position in Litecoin, and I still have a low wall position on there, but I might have to actually raise that level to maybe $45 to try to get a little bit of an entry, because really this has been playing the trend, and it's still going to continue to do this. I mean, it'll have a nice push to the upside. It'll correct slowly, and then it'll just bounce off within that trend. And the trend has really been, you know, the 145 to, let's just say, you know, 140. I'm sorry, not 145. $45 to about $47. You know, it's just going to continuously trend. Now, it's not always going to get to 45 and then bounce up to 47. It could get to 45, bounce to 46, bounce back down to 45, bounce to 46.50, 47, come back down. But that's really the trend it's playing, and that's a trend that she will probably continue to play until she has another massive breakout to maybe 55 bucks and then start consolidating. As long as she consolidates and holds a $50 level, you know, she's going to have more of an upside push. Let me go ahead and zoom out of this. Those 12-ounce curls. Yes, they can be, man. Especially if you're double fisting. You know, you got 2 beers in your hands. Yeah, they can be heavy after a while, after you drink like a whole 30-pack. All right, I don't know what all this garbage is that I have on here. It was probably from a previous, from something that was going on. All right, so the whole chart doesn't seem to load, especially the 1 hour, and that's really what I wanted to look at. Kebs, hey, thank you so much, man. I do appreciate it. Yes, we do have a website. I don't think Dylan is on here, but Dylan is our website, is our web developer and also hosting. But he's normally on here occasionally here and there. But he's the one that's developing our website for us. But yeah, you know what? TeamSpeak might not be a bad idea. I'm going to run that by, you know, some of the business partners that I do have, and see what they think about TeamSpeak. But yeah, just to verbally be able to communicate instead of, you know, me reading the comments and you guys kind of, you know, me verbally responding to your comments. Yeah, kind of, you know, takes the fun out of it, to be honest with you. But, you know, we'll see what we can do about TeamSpeak. And if that's a viable option, then we'll definitely set something up and spread the word. Dylan is on here, yes. I knew you were on here, Dylan. But yeah, if you, you know, we're also looking for, you know, anybody that can, you know, graphically, you know, make us a nice design, a banner. So Kibsy, if that's something you can do, definitely let us know. And if you haven't joined our Slack chat yet, I highly recommend joining our Slack chat. Please do so. And you can do that by going to our website, and there is a link at the bottom of this video. Unfortunately, it's not hyperlinked, but you can go to www.cryptotradersroom.com, and you just got to basically answer a brief questionnaire. And just be honest with the questions that, you know, the answers that you present to those questions. And then as long as those answers are, you know, somewhat good and, you know, it's not BS, we'll send out an invite. And it's not everybody that we're sending an invite to the general chat. So I highly recommend answering those questions as best as you can. How many are in the room? That's a good question. I think we got over 80 in the room, but not everybody's active. I'll be very honest with you. People are not active at all. You know, aside from, you know, Rocky Mountain, Oni, Dylan, ECS, Logan's Run, sometime Vince, Patrick. There's a couple people that are active, but yeah, out of 80, you know, a lot of them are not active at all. So, you know, if you do join our Slack chat, you know, our general chat, I highly recommend, and it's definitely for your benefit. And I won't say why it's for your benefit, but I highly recommend start chatting. And if you're good at, you know, fundamental analysis or technical analysis, or, you know, digging up information, digging up news, and sharing that with a group, you know, that's the best thing you can do. So I highly recommend it. PK, you're still waiting to be accepted. That's not good. Maybe let Dylan know on what name you use or what email address. I know a while back we had somebody signing up and they didn't use, they had a typo in the email address. So we kind of had to dig around and find their, you know, their questionnaire and send them an invitation to the correct email address. So if that was the case, it was the wrong email address you provided to us, then, you know, we wouldn't be able to get that invitation out to you. They need to smash that like button. Yeah, pound that like button. Pound that like button. Would I dump F before the drop? You know, Dan, I'm not selling any F at all, and I do have F. I have a little over 53 F, and I'm not selling any of it, to be honest with you. You know, once it gets up to that all-time high, you know, over 400 is when I'll be looking to lock in some profits. But at this particular time, I'm not looking to sell. You know, I think it's on a nice gradual incline. It hasn't dumped yet. You know, for it to go from, I mean, let's just say 220. I mean, it was definitely lower than that, or at least this past weekend, 185 to 272. This is a very significant, you know, price increase, price recovery to the upside. So, you know, it doesn't seem that the chart is breaking down from what I can see, as long as my chart will load. So no, I personally am not selling F. But I mean, you got to do what's right for you, Dan. You know, I can't tell you to sell. I can't tell you not to sell. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know if you need that money for, you know, your day-to-day living expenses, whatever it might be. But if you're in the profit, you know, I've always talked about, you know, scaling out. You know, you can either scale into a trade or you can scale out of a trade. And when you're scaling out of a trade, you're selling X amount of your position, whatever you're comfortable selling. You know, you might just say, you know what, I'm going to get rid of 5% of my position or 10% of my position. So, you know, at different price levels, as the price is increasing, start to lock in those profits. Instead of selling everything at 272 and then the price actually doesn't dip, it actually goes parabolic or goes up to 300, 350. Then you don't have any extra ether or coins left to sell at a higher price. So you always want, you know, a bigger slice of the pie. And I've talked about that. And in order to get a bigger slice of the pie, you know, the best advice would be to kind of scale out of your position, lock in those profits, but as it keeps going up higher, lock in a little bit more profit. So that way, at least you're getting a bigger slice of that pie instead of getting smaller slice of the pie by selling everything at one price. And I've done that in the past. I've gotten rid of everything at a very hefty profit of like 2,000. And then it keeps going up and up and up and up. And I'm like, wow, I'm like, you know, my strategy should have been a little different. I should have sold in increments. I should have sold a quarter of my position at that price and still had 3/4 left for a possible move to the upside. Now, if it does tank and I sold a quarter of my position, you know, like I've talked about in the past, I have a quarter, you know, of my position that's a profit, and that's also the capital that I could buy back into ether at a very healthy correction level. So yeah, I wouldn't advise selling everything at once, but if you're in a profit and you're happy with the profits and you need the money for something else, either to get into a different trade or, you know, to pay rent, whatever it is, whatever it might be, then yeah, there's nothing wrong with locking in profits at all. Where's the link to the Slack? So there is no link to the actual Slack. So once you actually, you know, go to our website and fill out the information, answer the brief questionnaire, we will send you or we'll look at that questionnaire first, and then we'll determine whether to send you an invitation or not. But yeah, just answer those questions and hit submit. And I think Dylan or ECS normally get to those questionnaires, and they'll send you the invite. No Telegram channel. No. I do get a lot of those Telegram pump and dump invitations to join, but no, we do not have a Telegram channel. Now, as time goes on, you know, I mean, we're going to be adding different services to Crypto Traders Room, and you know, I mean, that's something maybe we might take a look at, but at this current time, you know, that is not something we're looking at. Vert. I don't know. Let's see. I haven't heard anybody mention Vert in a while. BTC, I'm assuming, right? Let's see. Casey, you're excited for atomic swaps between the two. So I don't know if I missed a prior message. Tom, what's up, buddy? Yes, you are active on here. Thank you so much. Now, when I was talking about being active, is on our Slack chat. You know, we do have a lot of members, and there was a time where, you know, I would be on there and I would want to start chatting, and people would be chatting on our Slack chat. And I mean, I can see the chat when I'm logging on, and then I chat with somebody or I write a comment out, and then everybody stops chatting except for Oni and Rocky Mountain. You know, those two guys are really the only ones that will chat with me, but nobody else wants to chat with me on our Slack chat when I'm on there. And I do admit it, I'm not on there, you know, as much as I want to be. And I do have, you know, prior, you know, responsibilities to kind of take care of, and that's why I'm not on there 24/7. But when I'm on there, you know, and people are chatting, I'll write a message and everybody stops chatting. And Oni and Rocky Mountain are usually the ones like that kind of keep the conversation going. But Vert. No, this is not Vert. So let's go ahead and get out of this and go to Vert. And then this is probably the last cryptocurrency I'm going to look at, aside from looking at BCH before I end the live stream, and I'll just do my best to answer your questions for you. Vert was down low of 51, a high of 65 cents. Getting ready to touch that July. It looks like July 30th, 31st. What is the date on this? July 31st low of under 15,000 Satoshis. So yeah, that's getting very close to it. So I don't know if that is a position that you have, Oni. Or was that just in response to somebody else? Love LTC, but not much on Vert. Yeah, I don't like this chart at all either. Definitely not. I mean, yeah, a nice run, a nice pump, you know, and basically had a very good correction. Another pump, corrects again, another pump, you know, somewhat of a correction, and then it just a snowball effect. Yeah, I guess this would be interesting if it touched a 10,000 level, you know, 10,000 Satoshi level. But at that 10,000 Satoshi level, it might be giving us a middle finger. So I would definitely be careful of that. I think it's already given us the middle finger, or anybody that's in this as a long-term holder and that bought pretty high up. And when I say pretty high, I'm just going to, you know, maybe say 25,000, above 25,000 Satoshis. Yeah, it's definitely giving us a middle finger, or not us, you know, giving whoever bought it the middle finger. But, you know, I'd be curious to see exactly, you know, how she's going to react to that 10,000 Satoshi level, whether she's going to break down from it or if that's going to be a very solid support. Considering a couple of times, I mean, she did get rejected from that 10,000. And we're talking about right over here where it was somewhat of a consolidation point for it. But yeah, I wish there was a way to set an alert for this. And if you guys do know of a website where you can set alerts to notify you of a price, if it gets to that price, that'd be good to know. All right, Oni, I see you were responding to Casey's comment about Vert. So Casey, the atomic swap thing, I'm assuming you're referring to BTC and BCH, you know, basically the shift, the flippening, possibly. And I'm very surprised that BCH has not gone lower than its current price of 257, considering BTC is, you know, I mean, almost at 3,400. You know, so there are, you know, people that's holding BCH up. And that's definitely a good sign for anybody that's currently in it right now. About LTC, rumor has its announcement regarding the Lightning Network is in the near future. Yeah, I'm sure, you know, with Charlie Lee being heavily involved and more involved now than he ever was before, that we should get some nice announcements, and hopefully he's not fluffing the news. You know, that's what I'm hoping. You know, because sometimes they can fluff the news, and when I mean fluffing the news, you know, announce, you know, basically making an announcement about an announcement. That's fluff in the news, and we've seen that before. And I forget which cryptocurrency it was. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there was an announcement about an announcement, and I looked at that and I was like, they're fluffing the news. I'm like, if the announcement was going to be good a week from now, do you think that they would want to fluff the news to get the price to run up? I was like, more than likely, no, they wouldn't at all. The only way that they are going to get the price to move up is fluffing the news and basically making an announcement about an announcement that's going to be coming out later on down the road, which would cause the price to really skyrocket because people are buying the rumor and then they're going to sell the news. And that's exactly what they did. And I forget what cryptocurrency it was, but it had a meeting with a major bank. It might have been BitShares. I could be completely wrong. But yeah, the price went up. It really did, because people were buying the rumor that there's an announcement about an announcement. And then once that announcement happened and the deal fell through with the bank, the price came crashing back down. So, you know, as long as Charlie Lee, which I don't think that he would, fluff the news. But as long as he's not, then, I can see, a lot of good things happening with LTC and the price action. Oh, I see what you mean. You're trying to make the change in the swing. So far, I mean, everything's holding up. I mean, really, there is no swing, to be honest with you. There's no, money's not really coming out of, the major cryptocurrencies and going into Bitcoin, which we've seen that pattern before. Alts are coming down as Bitcoin is going up. Bitcoin is coming down as alts are going up because money is basically being siphoned from Bitcoin, other cryptos, or the popular cryptos at least, and then money being siphoned again out of major cryptos and then going to Bitcoin. We've seen that before, but that's not really what's happening. BCH should be up almost 30%, ETH up 4%. Let's see what else. I mean, everything is actually holding up pretty well. It's pretty impressive. So there's not a lot of flippening that I see, unless the flippening is happening from, garbage crap coins that shouldn't even be existing at all. But out of the major cryptocurrencies that are out there, and BTC really, making new highs and breaking all barriers. Yeah, I don't see a swing happening at all. It could happen though. It could, but at this current time, it's not. There you go. So whoever was, I think it was Ash, whoever was having it, Potter, whoever was having a hard time getting in. PK, that was you. So there you go. Send Dylan an email. Where's the email address? 032700 @gmail, and he'll look into that. No, I wouldn't want too much to change either, Oni, with LTC. Not at all. All right, so let's see. This might be gearing up for another push, and it's got to break that high of 266 or 268. What was it? 268.01. As long as it can break that and maintain it, it'll easily break the previous high of 277.45. I think it's actually gearing up for a nice push to the upside. And I don't know if it's going to do it while I'm still on this live stream, but it's definitely going to do it. That's not what I want to do. Yeah, this is definitely flagging to the upside. And this is not a recommendation to buy this, guys. I'm going to say that again. This is not a recommendation to buy it. If you're in it, it might be a good thing. So we'll see exactly how she's going to react. But yeah, this is flagging to the upside. And I've seen these patterns before. Not too often, but I've seen them before to where they do have a nice kick to the upside. And that's why I'm looking to get out of 300. This could easily get up to the $300 level if it has the right type of move and it's not being manipulated to the downside. As long as this is a nice sustained, uptick in growth without much manipulation that's happening, then I mean this should reach 300. Not saying it's going to do it within a couple hours or today, but I mean it looks like it's gearing up for another push to the upside. But more than likely, it'll probably come short of 300. Could probably hit 288, 290 before pulling back down. But I'm curious to see exactly how this is going to handle that wedge. But it's gearing up. It is gearing up, and it is uptrending. If we really just not looking at the overall chart, of course, the overall chart is downtrending, and that's mainly for long-term investors. But as a day trader, as somebody who wants to lock in some profit, whether holding it for a day or two, this is definitely what I want to see. This had a breakdown. It had a correction. Yes, profit taken. It's going to happen. It's got to do it. It's healthy. But coming back up and forming a new high off of this candlestick here, that was pretty impressive. And that's what I think it's going to do today is it's going to correct, which it has corrected. Now I think it's gearing up to break above that 268.01 to form a new high for the day. And as long as she can keep doing that, then, this is bullish. It's bullish until she gets up to a point where there's just way too much resistance and she can't break through that resistance, can't break through that wall because somebody wants to keep it down. And if she does break through the $300 level, which more than likely I probably will not be in this position at all, but 400, is going to be a very, or 440 is going to be an area where she could get stuck and she could have a hard time bouncing above that. I mean, and I've pointed that out before where that is just, where she continuously consolidated and had a hard time breaking out above it. And these are, 1 hour candlesticks that we're looking at. So for almost 12 hours, that's all she did was basically move within that line, within that trend. And of course, selling intensified and brought it back down. So a lot of people probably got impatient that, she didn't have a nice run back up to possibly 500. And they were happy with the profit that they had locked in because maybe they got in at 350 or 300, maybe not 300. Yeah, 300 they could have got in. And at 340, 335, they're like, all right, you know what? That's it. It's not moving anywhere. It's consolidating. This doesn't look healthy to me. I'm happy with the profits. I'm going to take them. And more traders say that and do that, then yeah, it's going to cause that drop. But 400, 440 is going to be probably the resistance point that she could be stuck at. But yeah, I'm curious to see exactly, like I said, I'm probably not going to be on the live stream to see this break out above it. But if you are watching this and you do have a position and you're in a good profit, definitely be happy with it and be looking to lock in some of the profit. So, at 300, I will, if she starts making that move up to 300, I probably won't sell in everything. I will probably kind of tailor that to maybe sell 5.35 where I'll end up keeping 6 to see if she makes a bigger run up to that $400 level. And if she does get to 400, then, I would be looking to sell the rest. But I got about 3 minutes on this call right now, so I'm going to try to get to some of the comments as best as I can. I do want to thank everybody that's for joining this live stream. Let me hit refresh to see exactly how many people we have in this room. Casey, not a problem, man. Whatever insight it was, not a problem. Okay, about Vert and LTC. Yeah, I don't know about Vert. With any of these cryptocurrencies, to be honest with you, wait for them to come to you. Don't go chasing them. That's my honest opinion because, if you're chasing them, there's got to be a reason why you're chasing it. Is it based on, factual news that's out, or is that news fluff news? And if that is the case where it's fluff news, it's a manipulated news, then yeah, it's going to cause the price to come back down. Or if it's going up on no news at all, then more than likely it's just being manipulated to the upside. So you got to be very careful with a lot of these cheap coins that out of nowhere they just decide to explode, because more than likely they'll come back down. QRL, I don't know, man. I haven't. Was that on my list? No, it wasn't on my list. I've never looked at QRL, and I don't think I have. And I don't know if I'll have enough time within the next 2 minutes to take a look at it. It has to dip. Anything that goes up too fast, too soon has to dip. There are profit takers that are looking to lock in profit. Just completely, you guys got to remember that. When it starts running, there are people on the sideline being like, okay, I'm ready. I'm happy with the profit. I'm going to take it. And, the more that traders say that and act upon it, the more that it will have a nice correction. VCH, so an ascending triangle. Yes, you're exactly right. That is an ascending triangle. It's definitely not a descending triangle. So as long as she can get to this point right over here, the 260 is 262 and maintain that level, she could easily break that 268. And as long as the volume comes in to break it above 268 and it's a confirmed breakout, when I mean a confirmed breakout, I'm talking about a confirmed breakout in the sense of these candles here that we're seeing. This is a confirmed breakout that it had. And then, of course, you have a confirmed breakdown, which they just continuously break down. And then you got candles that are completely, red candles or green candles that are completely engulfing other candles. So as we can see, I mean, you really can't say that this candle here has engulfed a lot of these candles here because they're not close to it. But I mean, if you were to really move this candle over, you can see exactly that it more than likely has engulfed 4 hours worth of price action. And that's huge, and that's a nice confirmation to indicate that there is a parabolic move that's happening. But yeah, I wish I could stay on this live stream longer to see exactly how this would play out. But I'm very confident that this will hit the $300 price point that I'm looking at personally, and that's what I'm comfortable with for me to get out of this position with a 50% profit within a matter of a couple days, 3 days. So, and again, I mean, it's gone up. On this candlestick here, we're talking about a low of 215 to a high of 250, and that's $35. That it's gone up within a 1 hour candlestick, and I think I did it within a 15-minute candlestick. When I was looking at it, I mean, it went up $35 within 15 minutes, so it could easily do that. But yeah, I mean, this is gearing up. This is gearing up for another push. But yeah, let me get to one or two more comments, and then I do have to end the live stream. But thank you for everybody that's joining. Hopefully, you guys find this information helpful. And if you do, I mean, leave me a comment. Let everybody know, how helpful these live streams are. Because a lot of times, when this gets uploaded to YouTube, people are able to go in and read the comments. And if you leave a comment on how helpful this live stream is, then that's a testimonial to other people watching or basically listening to the live stream, to come back on a day-to-day basis and join. Hit the thumbs up. Yeah, Tom Walker, I like that comment. Thumbs up if you do find this information helpful. And if you don't find this information helpful and there's something that you want me to cover, or something I haven't covered, and that's something that you would like to see, I mean, leave a comment at the end of the video. I do my best to get back to 99.9% of the comments. So yeah, leave me a comment if there is something specific you want me to cover. How's my son's Doge doing? Matt, not too well. Not too well at all.
Where's those triple eggs I gave you?
I have them, but I don't know right now. Oh man, I was on mute. No way. Okay. All right. Damn. Oni, thank you, bud. Um, and I basically went off, on the question that Crypto Dent was asking. So I'm going to try to summarize it as best as I can, and I feel so bad that I was on mute. But he asked basically, what do I think the price of Coinbase or BCH will be on Coinbase in January 2018 when they decided to list it? And I kind of stated, it doesn't take them, it shouldn't take this long at all to either service it or give people back their coins. They could give people a week's period to say, okay, you know what? You have a week to get the money out. You have a week to transfer it to a different exchange that will support it. They did it with ETC. I don't know why they're not doing it with BCH. My speculation is that this is all just conspiracies, that they want to raise money. Coinbase needs money. They do. They got lawsuits that they're fighting left and right. So what better way for them to make money off money that's not theirs? I mean, it's perfect. Not release them for 5 months. That's a long time to wait. And in those 5 months, I'm sure Coinbase as a company has an account at different exchanges. Any company can have an account at a different exchange. And what exchange is going to say no to another exchange wanting to opening an account at their exchange? They're going to say yes, because they're providing liquidity. They're providing, funding to that exchange. And another exchange opening an account at another exchange, I mean, they're not just funding it with $2,000, $3,000. They're going to be funding it with a good amount of cryptocurrency, a good amount of USD, whatever it might be. So they're playing with this money right now. They're playing with this cryptocurrency. They're making tons of money off of it. And what are they going to want to do? January comes around and they got to return these BCH coins to everybody. Are they going to manipulate the price at that specific exchange that they're on, or maybe multiple exchanges to cause the price to come down across all the exchanges, and then buy back in cheaper, and then give everybody back their BCH coins that they're entitled to, which they're actually entitled to right now, this second? Really, a couple of days ago, they were entitled to those coins. But yeah, a lot of people probably would have sold them and made a nice profit. But now, I mean, yes, they're still making a profit off of it, because really they got those coins for free, and the price is 260, so they're still in the profit huge. It would have to go down to zero for them to not be in the profit, which is not going to go down to zero. But yeah, it's not fair. It's unethical for Coinbase to be holding BCH tokens when it's not theirs. It doesn't belong to them. They should have released it with an X amount of, let's just say 24 hours of that split happening. They should have released them to everybody that had BTC on their exchange. But yeah, so the price could drop to $100, and I think that's kind of the price that I've been kind of waiting for, and I think that's a price that a lot of people will support. They supported the $200 price point, and I think the 100 will be heavily supported as well too, if it gets to that point, and I think it will. Flash crashes will happen. If it hasn't flash crashed already, it's just a matter of time before it does flash crash, and they're going to flash crash it to buy in cheaper. So that's kind of my 2 cents on Coinbase and BCH, and what they're possibly doing with BCH currently at the moment right now. But sorry if that was a little long. Could that fact be holding the price down? I think what could be holding the price down is other people that are not able to get or split their coins, that have them on a hardware wallet and that haven't moved them, or maybe they split them but they haven't moved them to an exchange to sell them. That's what could be keeping the price down. Nobody probably wants to buy it, knowing that the market could be flooded with tons of Bitcoin Cash. I don't think the market's flooded yet, but it will be. It will be. ECS and I, and I'll just make this quick reference, but ECS and I had a very nice conversation the other day about, Satoshi Nakamoto. He's got 1 million or over 1 million Bitcoins, but 1 million is kind of what we know about, but I'm sure he's got over 1 million Bitcoins. Now he's got over 1 million Bitcoin Cash. At one point it was worth 800,000. Now it's worth 800 million. Now it's worth 260 million. So what's going to happen if he decides, or she decides, or they decide, whoever Satoshi Nakamoto is, that they're going to start dumping BCH? They're going to flood the market. And when they flood the market, it's going to cause the price to tank. So I think, yes, that could be what's keeping the price down, is, not knowing the unexpected of what could happen. I think as time goes on and as coins are being split and coins are being transferred to an exchange and they're being sold, then we can kind of see BCH start to stabilize and have possibly a nice upward trend. But until that uncertainty clears, I mean, this could easily dump another 30-40% from its current level that it's at now, easily. All right, guys, I do appreciate you joining. Thank you so much. And DGB, I can't cover that now, but I think a lot of people got burned on DigiByte. But I want to thank everybody for joining. You guys are amazing. You guys are wonderful for really wanting to spend, your time with me and listening to me talk when you could be probably doing anything else. So, my sincere utmost, thanks for listening to me and following me on my journey to trading. And if you're a new time viewer, don't forget to click on that subscribe button as well as the post notification. And then do me a favor, if you do find this information helpful and you know somebody that could find this information helpful, send them a link to the live stream, copy and paste it and send them the link to the live stream, or send them the link, to the main YouTube page. Get the word out that, CTR is there to help people out as best as we can. And like I said, if you do find this information helpful, it's definitely helped you in some way, somehow, some way, then yeah, feel free to share this with anybody that's looking for a little bit of knowledge, and we'd be happy to have them here. Do I think a whale is going to sell out and cause a huge panic? Anytime. And it doesn't have to be a whale. It could be a couple of them that are in cahoots. But yeah, it could happen at any time. They could cause a price to crash. They can cause the overall market to crash. And we saw that, from 112 billion market cap all the way down to 64 billion market cap. I mean, that's huge. Yeah, so they can move it any way they want. What am I doing a live stream with BK? I don't know, man. BK and I need to coordinate that. I know he's got a lot of stuff going on, as well as with me too. I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on with opening up the one-on-one personalized trading sessions, as well as the group trading sessions. I'm going to have a lot of things that are going to be going on. But I don't know. Hopefully one day, we'll coordinate that. We do have plans to do it. And I'd be more than happy if he says, hey, you know what, let's do it on a Saturday on this date, this time. I'd be happy to do it. So it's just a matter of time. We'll get that worked out and we'll coordinate it. Illuminatis are behind it all. Is that what we're calling them now? Illuminatis. Spartacus the Great. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot of people behind it. It's just not one whale. It's multiple millionaires. There's a lot of millionaires. There's a lot of crypto millionaires that, this cryptocurrency market that we deal in has turned. It's turned probably, a couple billionaires as well too. And they're not leaving the market. They didn't just make their million or billion and then leave the market. No, they're still in the market. Now they got tons of money to be able to manipulate it and, turn that 50 million into 100 million, 100 million into, 200 million, and so forth and so forth. Yeah, I think everybody's hoping for some sort of crash, especially if you're not in it, in BCH. If you're not in BCH, yeah, I would definitely love to see 70%. Under 100, I would be more than happy to support it. I would love to just hold 21 BCH coins and just lock them up and not even touch them. Then you actually own a millionth, of the Bitcoins that are out there. Eckers, let's see. I read this and want to sell to fiat. I'm such a knob. What do you read,